Welcome to selfdiscoverymedia.com, where we discover the communities that are making a difference in the lives of others. Our self-discovery is something we are all making on our life's journey. Here you will find the people that will be your guidance, that will be your inspiration, that will be there for you in support on your journey of life. Do enjoy. Our next show is... Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everybody. Welcome back to another edition for the love of music right here on selfdiscoverymedia.com. I'm your host, Sarah Troy, and my guest today is Whoop DC Glenn, and we're going to be whooping it up for you today. I think you've all seen that Geico commercial right now with the wonderful 90s classic real school hip hop due by the tag team, and it's back on top again, and it's just what we need at the present moment. The whole whoomp it up is claiming #1 on the billboards, and it's something that lifts our spirits up. It gets everybody to lighten up, and this was something they did back in 1993. So it just shows how, music it never ends. It always kind of comes back into tune again. So recognized, around the world, this song, and it's one of those things that it doesn't matter what age you are, you're going to whoomp it up and just really feel the groove of it. But let's really talk to DC about what's really happening and how this wonderful number from 1993 has come back into play and whooping everybody up. Welcome to the show, love.
Hey, before we get started, I gotta get one thing off my chest.
Yeah.
Sprinkle! Good, now we can go.
Little magic dust there, right, for everybody, right? Sprinkling.
Just a little bit. How you doing today?
I'm doing great. How are you doing?
Good. So
Did you ever think... Sorry?
What do you guys want to know about DC?
Oh, well, I mean, did you ever think back in 1993 when this was kind of a big hit that it would, be kind of one of those pandemic songs that lifts all everybody's spirits back up again, and relive itself all these years later?
Of course I did.
That was the agenda all the time, right?
Exactly. Well, we're still here. You know what I mean? We're
Exactly.
still here. Yeah.
I was reading how it actually kind of all came about, the writing of the verses, and then putting in, the other things to lighten it up and to kind of put things into the groove. And I love watching artists or hearing about artists of how things materialize. And, you have a particular tune or a particular few words, and then it's trying to find the bars to go with it. And it's a collaboration between the two of you. But how much fun is it to kind of create something like this and let it come alive?
It actually was very fun for me back then. It's fun for me now, but in a different way. But back then, everybody thought it was this big science project, right? Like, okay, we're going to do this. We're going to do this, and the hook's going to be this, and it's going to be this. And it was nothing like that. It's just a song about guys having a fun time on Saturday night, going to the club. That's all it is. It's so simple, right? And everybody thinks that it was just, anytime you set out to make a record, your ego is going to make you believe that every record you make is a hit record.
Exactly. #1.
Right. So it doesn't even matter what you do, how you do it, put it together. It's just fun to go back in time, and people always ask, how did that song come together? And basically, Whoomp, There It Is came together because out of necessity for where we were at geographically. Because we're from Denver. We met in high school, and I went to college in Sacramento, California. Steve moved to the Art Institute in Atlanta, and then I moved to Atlanta because I had such a good time when I went down there. So now we're both down there. We're making music. We're having fun. We're young men, and it was really that simple. But back then, the hubs of hip hop were LA and New York. And we were down south. And down south, there's a form of music called bass music. And I knew that we would never be able to get out of the Southeast to make a big, to be rock stars if we didn't make a bass record or something that was up tempo, right?
Yeah.
It had to be something up tempo that people could dance to. So I went to Steve and I said, "Hey man, we got to make something up tempo. We got to make a bass record." He was like, "Man, can't make that bass stuff. I love it, but I can't make it." And I was like, "Well, we've been listening to it pretty much all our lives
Hmm.
because think about it, Planet Rock, that's a bass record because it's up tempo, it's hip hop, and it was the start of the b-boy era. So
Hmm.
historically, you have several references to pull from. So I was like, think Planet Rock, think Egyptian Lover, because Egyptian Lover was doing the up tempo stuff on the West Coast, right? And he put the beat together, and I had a couple songs that I was working on. One of them happened to be "Whoomp, There It Is," which was just a party saying, like, throw your hands in the air, waving like you just don't care. And we wrote the lyrics and put it together, and that was it. And that day we recorded it in August 1992. I went to work that night because I was working at a club called Magic City, and I popped the cassette in. And to this day, that is the biggest response on any record as me being a DJ that I've ever had. And I've been a
Hmm.
DJ for 30 years. So to this day, I still haven't heard, people have not responded to a record that they hear first like that. So
Right.
I I feel I've always felt good about Whoomp There It Is. I've always known that it was going to be a big record. I've always been confident that we were going to get a deal. And it wasn't always like that because I did try to get a deal numerous times, and people just weren't feeling it because everything was in New York and LA.
Yeah.
But there was a young lady named Lisa McCall who introduced me or gave me Al Bell's number. A guy named Al Bell. He had put out records like that in the previous year that went gold, right?
Hmm.
And I was like, he might be the one to break this record. And I called him, he called me back, and I was like, look, man, we got a hit record. You need to sign us. He was like, okay. I was like, no, 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 no. This is another fake. And he was like, no, 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 no. He said, I'm gonna sign you because, I'm like, you haven't even heard the record. He was like, I don't have to hear the record, brother. I hear it in your spirit.
Right.
I hear it in your passion.
Hmm.
I believe you. Let's
Right.
agree to agree. And I was so happy. I gave my 2 weeks in Magic City, the club I was working at, signed a messed up record deal, and in a month and a half, we were platinum.
Right. Right. And there we are. History is made, and to be
History is made.
to review.
Exactly.
But I love the fact that he didn't need the proof
Yeah.
because he heard the conviction. He
Yeah.
heard your heart, he heard your soul, he heard your
Mhm.
spirit. And he knew with that amount of conviction that it had to be something good. And
Yeah.
that leap of faith can only come from somebody else who actually does live from their very core, the heart, the
Yes.
soul, the spirit.
Yeah.
You've got the record producers that are purely mind. Oh, this
Mhm.
is good catch. Yes, we can make a lot of money. This could target this market and that market. But,
Yeah.
the true musicians and the ones that I love to interview are the ones that it's heart, it's soul, it's spirit. It's an
Yeah.
expression of me or expression of the times. It's
Mhm.
my baby I'm giving to the world.
Mhm.
Right?
Exactly. Exactly. And that has rung true to this very day, right? We have always done shows. We have always I mean, basically we have always had a forever hit record. I
Hmm.
realized Whoop There It Is was a forever hit record when I'm sitting in the movie theater and I'm looking at the screen, and all of a sudden I see Will Ferrell dancing on a table to my record in the movie Elf. And it's a
Yeah.
Christmas movie, and I knew that this record is going to last. This record is now evergreen because it will be
Mm-hmm.
played every Christmas. But there are so many other factors where it was played in commercials, where it's played in movies, where it's played in so many different entities throughout the history of my life for the last 28 years that I took it upon myself and said it was my responsibility, even being in a bad situation with the record deal we signed, that I got a forever hit record. It's your responsibility to get your money, right?
Yes.
And
Yes.
that's what I set out to do. And I spent all those years refining my hustle, learning, figuring out things, becoming a paralegal, becoming a licensed commodities broker, to understand finance, learning SEO, learning marketing,
Hmm.
and all of it has served me in ways that I could have never imagined today,
Yeah.
right? And people say, DC, you're doing too many things. You're a jack of all trades, master of none. I was like, yep, I sure am. But you know what? You live long enough, you work hard enough, and you learn how to learn.
Hmm.
Some of those trades you become masterful in,
Yes.
and they all serve you in ways that other people just can't understand. Now you're self sufficient.
Yeah.
Now you're invaluable to other people, right? So I always have the ability to make money because I know how to do things that most people don't,
Right.
right? Because I don't quit. I
Hmm.
play offense, and I'm going to get it. I'm not.
I'm
I
gonna
think
get it.
different.
I'm gonna get it. Yep.
Yeah, I think so different. I really do. It's a testament to my tenacity. So I love talking to people about this because the music is the music, but
Yes.
it's what, like you said, it's the spirit, it's the soul, it's what drives you. It's Are you going to look at the glass half empty or look at it half full, right?
But even signing a bad deal,
Yeah,
it's frustrating at the time. You can be angry and all of that, but it set you on another path. And
exactly.
as far as I'm concerned, anything that kind of quote quote bad happens to us or negative happens to us, it generally means there's something to learn from here and put you in a different direction. Right?
But
There aren't any
people don't see
mistakes.
that. People don't see that.
No.
Like, I, I have one of the things I do, and it really works for me. I don't dwell on problems and
Mm,
excuses, right? Like, now it's taken years to get to this, but now I try to tell people, don't think about the problem. The problem is a pathway to the solution.
yes.
Like if somebody gives me excuse why they can't do something, I'm like, thank you, because you've just given me you've given me the ability to come up with five solutions to that excuse.
Yes. It's an
Therefore, that will
invitation.
never be an excuse in my life,
Right.
right?
Exactly.
Yeah, and it's just as simple as just thinking different. Like I had a
Hmm.
friend who, she was doing this. She did an audition. She spent all week, actress, spent all week working on this audition. She wanted this audition so bad, and her camera messed up the last minute, and she couldn't turn in the audition, and she was distraught for the whole weekend. And she calls me, and she was just like, DC, I'm just messed up. I'm upset. I'm mad. I'm this. I'm that. I was like, all right, all right, all right, all right. You told me all the bad part. That's the problem. That's the glass half empty. What
Yep.
is the glass half full? And she couldn't tell me.
Hmm.
She guessed and guessed and guessed, and she was like, tell me. I was like, the glass half full is you did the work.
Yeah.
You're a better actress than you were yesterday.
Yes.
That's all
Yes.
that counts. You weren't going to get that audition. You know what I mean? Auditions are auditions, but
Right.
you did the work. An
Mm,
audition is a chance for you to do the work and get better. So if I got to go through 1,000 auditions to get my big time movie
yeah.
role, then give me 30 auditions a day because I'm trying to get to that.
Right.
Right? I don't think like, okay, this is the one. I'm going to get this audition. I ain't think like that no more. I'm like, this,
But it's also don't be afraid of rejection. It
what?
isn't. Don't take it personally.
Can't take it
Right?
personally.
Don't take it
Yeah,
personally. You're either the wrong fit. They're looking for a particular style. It. But
exactly.
you go in with the best of your best.
It's out
And
of your
and
hand.
and the thing is, you got to remember this. It may not be right for that role, but that director may go, there was somebody who auditioned for such and such, and I think they might be good for this
Perfect
role.
fit.
You don't
Exactly.
know what seeds you're planting,
And
so
all you
don't
need is
take it personally.
one.
Yes, all
All
you
you
need is
need
one.
is
Water it, nurture it, let it go. But the thing about preparing for that role, even though she didn't do it, or even you may get a rejection, is each time you're preparing, you are excelling. You're getting better and better at it, more
you're
confident at
honing your
it.
talent.
You're honing in your talent. It's like there's a couple of young guys that I've seen on YouTube that are very, very young, that can play a sensational guitar,
Uh-huh.
and like they're prodigies at that age, just unbelievable. But not everybody is like that. Most people have to hone their craft.
Yes.
Even a great voice, a great musician, there's always something to learn.
Yes.
And any one of those rejections is just another learning curve, right?
People
You
don't
didn't
see it
get
like
right
that.
first out.
People look at it as a quid pro quo,
Hmm.
right? If I do this, this has to happen. And we think about it. You don't. plant a seed in the dirt, sit down and say, okay, grow seed. I need you to grow seed. Please grow
You
seed.
have 5 minutes to get out of there.
Please grow. You know what? This seed don't work. I quit.
No.
Now, you and I all know people like that do that because
Yes.
that's a form of, that's a form of quick, instant gratification,
Right.
which doesn't exist,
No.
right? But you're just supposed to plant the seed and go, right? And all the things I've done in my life, right? All these seeds that I planted, didn't knowingly or unknowingly, have led me to this point in my life where I'm standing in a forest of opportunity because
Mhm.
the 2020 was the best year of my life. I shot 2 movies. I did 3 TV shows, tons of voiceover, and then here comes Geico,
Right.
right? So I am a testament to hard work, perseverance. Like people, I have writers. I look at articles of people that have written, on us recently, and it's like, this is a story of, you
Mhm.
know, Phoenix rising from the ashes and redemption, and this is a story of they're back in the limelight and back on top. And I'm like, no, 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 no! It's not that story. This is a story of perseverance, tenacity,
Yes.
you
Belief.
know, steadfastness,
Yeah.
grit,
Yes.
never giving up,
Right.
positivity. That's what this is a story about. Never give up. You're never too old. That's what this narrative is,
Yes.
right?
Inevitable.
That's all that
Right.
other stuff. I don't care about being a star. I don't care about being a star. I don't care about the limelight. I don't care about none of that. I care about mastery.
Yes.
Mastery. Because mastery means you put in the work. Mastery means you went through hell to get to where you're at. And
Yeah.
it's worth it
Yeah.
when you've been through
100%.
such despair.
Yes.
Right. And over the years, I've learned the ability to take any negative emotion and just I might act viscerally, but I don't let it bother me. I put it in my pocket
Right.
and I use it for later for fuel. Right.
Yes.
That's
Yes.
why I don't quit, because if I don't quit, there's always something in my past that says you can't quit this, because if you quit, you just wasted a whole bunch. These little things help you,
Yes, they
right?
do.
And go along. If it really, especially with acting, right? Acting, like I have a couple auditions due tomorrow, right? One of them is about husband cheating on a wife or just a breakup situation, right? Well, I've got situations like that I could pull out of my pocket.
Mhm.
And now I don't have to be a character or try to be a caricature. Now the character is me.
Yes.
And it's real because I've been there and
Mm,
I can go there and I don't have to try to make tears. I don't have to try.
mm.
I can just talk regular like this and you'll understand what I've been through.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So it's like
Yes.
all these things that you think are negative, you can actually use them as positive to keep you moving. Like, hey, when we got into the legal battle, right?
Mhm.
One company went back, the original one company went bankrupt, another company bought out of bankruptcy, and the original one sued them because they took stuff they weren't supposed to take. And we're in the middle. And I said, I am not going to cry over spilt milk. I'm not going to get old and be bitter like a lot of artists that I see. I said, what can I do? I take full responsibility for me signing that contract. So what I have to work to make this right. What can I do? And I said, you know what? You're going to get your day in court, but make sure you got all the discovery. Make
Right.
sure you got all of the paperwork. Make sure you're organized. Take notes. Understand what's going on. Basically, become a paralegal.
Yeah.
That was one of the most positive experiences in my life because it taught me so many other.
Mhm.
I call it, okay. So when they drop a bomb and people get hurt, they're not supposed to get hurt. Mrs. Talker, you call it collateral damage.
Mhm.
Well, if you set out to do something and it doesn't quite go the way you want it to, I call it collateral sprinkles. These are the good things that happen because you tried something.
Yes.
Collateral sprinkles of that is that I learned basically I could go take a test and be a paralegal today, right? And I learned how to do that on my own. And my life is a series of things like that where I learned how to learn. And that helped me more than anything. I started voiceover. I actually was working in the clubs and decided, hey, why don't I get in the corridor and why don't I become the marketing firm that markets this club?
Mhm.
So now and this is part of my thing too. If you're gonna be in a job, you might as well make yourself invaluable. I'm not just a DJ. I'm the DJ. I'm your tech for the
Mhm.
lights. I'm your sound guy. I'm your marketing manager. I'm the one that's doing your voiceover for your radio spots. I'm the one that's cutting your TV spots. I'm a fashion photographer. I'm taking your pictures. I'm making your flyers. I'm doing all these things. And I just made myself so invaluable.
Yeah.
You can never get rid of me. But at the same time, I'm nurturing myself, learning things that I could use for me later.
Right.
So if you're in a dead end job, see, here's the thing: it requires you do so much more than you're supposed to. But everybody's always trying to do the bare minimum. And if
Hmm.
you're only doing the bare minimum, you're going to be, when it comes time to chop, you're going to be the ones that got chopped. But if you're invaluable, not
Yeah.
only if you do get chopped, you're prepared for the future,
Right.
but they're not going to let you go and they're going to give you more money so you can
Right.
keep learning.
Yes.
So I
Yes.
try to tell people these things because these are the things I wish people had told me when I was young.
Right. Exactly. I
That's
hate
that's
the word.
that's, that's my responsibility,
It is.
right?
It is. It is. And I hate the word failure. Oh, I failed at this. I failed at. No, you didn't. You just didn't succeed at that. But it wasn't a failure. If you've learned something, anything, you
Mhm.
have succeeded. And it's now about, okay, I take what I've learned from this, put it in my kit, it's ready for the next time or another time I face
Mhm.
this. The failure is when you give up. You just
And that's
sit down, all right?
hey
And that's
people.
it, you know?
Oh man, that's what that also works in a full circle sense because we all have things in our life and we all have times in our life where we think we've missed an opportunity
Hmm.
or we think we've made a mistake or we didn't do something that we wish we had of, but we think we're too old. And I really came to grips with, that's happened to all of us, but I
Yes.
realized that there are no mistakes.
Hmm.
And if there is a mistake, it can be corrected. All that missed opportunity can be corrected.
Yes.
Everything can be everything there. If you want to learn, if you didn't learn how to play piano when you were a kid, you can learn now.
You're never too old.
You're never too old.
You're
So
never too old.
it's funny because I we did a record with Disney called Mickey Unwrapped, and I taught the voices of Mickey Mouse and Minnie Mouse how to rap. And that kind of started my voiceover career back in like 95. But I wasn't ready. So I thought I missed that opportunity because I'm like, here I am with the animation star, the biggest animation stars in the world,
Hmm.
and I couldn't turn that into something else. But sometimes we aren't ready. I was a young man with a hit record, a big hit record. I'm number one in the world, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, so there was no way that I was going to even be able to figure that out. But you look back on it, you be like, I missed that opportunity because I didn't start doing voice. I didn't start training for voiceover, traditional commercial voiceover for another 15 years. But,
Hmm.
I look back on all of that and now I've just signed with one of the biggest voiceover agencies in the world.
There you go.
You see what I'm
It's
saying?
when you're ready. I
Because
mean,
I
the
didn't
thing is,
quit.
no, it wasn't. It's the question about the timing not being right. You
Yeah,
dabbled in it and you knew you could do it. It
yeah,
wasn't the right time. And
yes.
that's, I think, what people have to understand. You dipped your toe in the waters and you really liked it, but you
Hmm.
couldn't immerse your whole body because it's the
Right.
wrong time. That dipping that toe in there is to show you not only you're capable, but you liked it. So down the road, when that opportunity comes up again, you're going to seize it.
Or I jumped in and almost drowned. But
Yes,
I
because
kept
you weren't
dog
prepared.
paddling. I dog paddled for a couple of years, and then wait a minute, I got a little stroke going. Then I learned how to do, I learned how to do a freestyle. Then I learned how to do a backstroke. Then I learned how to do a breaststroke. Now I can, I'm an Olympic swimmer when it comes to it because I didn't give up. I could have just
Exactly.
drowned, right?
Yeah.
And with acting, I was sitting in the office back then of the president of New Line Cinema, and he's like, "Yeah, we might want to cast you for because it was my manager's friend from college. He was like, we might have a slot for you in the movie Blade. We're looking at LL Cool J and Wesley Snipes." And I'm like, yeah, whatever, And I, years later, I realized what that was,
Yes.
right? And I'm like, oh my god, I could have been acting all these years, right? But no, I couldn't have because
Right.
I wasn't ready mentally. I'd never taken an acting class. I couldn't. Nah. But now I've got 2 movies coming out, 3 TV shows, and about to be on set for another TV show this week, right?
Right.
It's never too late. And what the pandemic taught me is that, you know, you most of the educators that stopped working, half of them went back, and the other half were like, I'm not going back to school with them nasty ass kids. And what happened is they went to and joined all the tutoring sites, right? So
Mm,
now that same class that they were making $60 a day to teach, they're now tutoring one student for $60 an hour. That
yeah.
paradigm shifted. So now I got five tutors for music theory. I've got five tutors, as many as five tutors for learning how to do music production again. I will not leave this earth regretting that I didn't do something that I always wanted to do. And that last year I did everything. I reinvented myself a voiceover. I did all these things. I've been working on SEO for 10 years. 10 years ago, you type in tag team, it was all wrestling. Now you type in tag team today, because I have mastery in search engine optimization, all you see is tag team.
Hmm.
And it brings me to how Geico found us. I get
Hmm.
a call from my agent and they're like, hey, you got a Geico, you booked a Geico commercial. I was like, come on now, don't play with my emotions. We're in the middle of a pandemic. Why are you playing with me? I said, I haven't even auditioned for a Geico commercial. She's like, DC, Geico wants tag team. I'm like, oh, tag team.
Mm.
See, what happened is Geico called the tag team phone because I got the number on the website, right? But then I didn't answer the phone, but they found my IMDb, which is my actors portal, called my agent. Then my agent called me. I let the agent make the deal because this is what they do.
Right.
Now they don't have to we don't got to get lawyers. We don't got to do anything. And it has turned out to be the most lucrative deal I've ever made in my life.
Yes. But
You see
but
what
it's
I'm saying?
it's
Like,
it's kind of brought the whole song, the whole energy of the song, the whole lightheartedness of the song to a time period where we desperately need it.
yeah.
You know, it's you cannot watch TV, you can't watch anything without COVID this or conspiracy that or this or that, and it's like we're tired of it. Give us a little whoomp, give us some
And it's
lighten
beautiful.
up,
Beautiful that you say that because I knew that we weren't going to be able to do shows. So we
Hmm.
basically had a Geico commercial for nothing, but me being me, I'm not going to quit. I'm going to take these lemons. I'm going to make me a lemonade company. I'm
Yes.
going to franchise that lemonade company and I'm going to sell it for $20 million. That's my mindset. So I said, I'm going to go get a publicist. We're going to treat this like I'm in a movie or something. And the publicists during COVID were like, we don't know how to deal with this like this. And I was like, okay, either they don't want to spend my money. I don't know why, but I don't quit. And anytime I hit a wall, right, I go and join an organization because organizations are filled with professionals that have been doing this for 10, 20, 30, 40 years.
Exactly.
And 2 days in, I'm on a Zoom call with the CEO of this big PR firm. We get to answer questions, everybody in the Georgia chapter. And I raised my hand. I said, hey, I got a press release because I do my due diligence, during the whole lead up to the commercial because I know some press with to do some things, I do SEO. And I said, our press release is still relevant. And they're like, well, what's it for? And I'm like, well, I'm kind of featured in a Geico commercial called Scoop. There it is. And I'm looking at the chat and it just blew the chat up. That's my favorite song. That can't be him. Oh my gosh. I love that song. My kids love that song. My dog loves that song. Everybody's going crazy. Moderators like, we like to welcome DC to the organization. We're going to talk about the Geico commercial afterward, DC. But back to this question, our press release is relevant. The CEO goes to me. She says, of course, because of the same thing you just said. The whole last year has been COVID. Everybody's been fighting each other like cats and dogs. Every time you turn on the news, it's this, COVID that, everything. And then here you guys come Christmas time, throwing sprinkles and spinning scoops and eating ice cream and smile. DC, your smile. Oh my God, DC, your smile is so. And the little girl, every parent can relate to the little girl turn away, but like, oh my God, I can't do this anymore. And the dad getting happy, and the mama getting happy, and you guys just brought joy to the world. Of course, that
Exactly.
press release is gonna do well, and it's gonna do well because of this. Because of all those reasons, and you kind of want to go here for the publicists. You want to go here for the TV talk shows. You want to go here for the journalists. You want to go here for the podcast. Make sure your pitches are like this. And She gave me the entire game in 10 minutes. She gave me the entire breadth of her whole existence as a PR
Mhm.
agent in 10 minutes. And I have not looked back, and it has opened doors to me that I could have never imagined, because I thought different. I didn't give up. I
Yeah,
kept pressing. I played offense.
yeah.
And it is the reason you and I
I'm talking.
are sitting here having this beautiful conversation right now.
Exactly. You know, the point of never giving up and always being willing to pivot and to learn. My virtually all of my shows last year were, I mean, some were about immune system and this, that, how to handle anxiety and
Yeah,
depression, but it was mostly about pivoting. Making the lemonade, add
that-
some tequila to it, lighten it up,
exactly.
whatever the case is,
Yes,
right? Is that
yes, yes.
do not look at this as the end and, oh my God, you look at it as opportunity. And so many people have walked away from the job they had and found that as a consultant online, they're making more money with on their own
Exactly.
time thing than they were, with the big company having to fly all over the world. It's changed the way we are going to
Change
do
the
business.
world.
It's changed the way we're going to interact. And the thing
Everything.
is, everything is a question is always moving forward. If you're not prepared to move forward with it, you will be left behind.
Exactly. I say this is one of my little sayings. Like, if you're waiting for it to come back like it used to be,
Ah,
you're going to be sitting there waiting for it to come back like it used to be, while I'm standing here in a whole new frontier of anything that I want to do can be done. I can make my own lane
yes.
custom, right? I can make my own custom lane. Then I can make another custom lane, and another. Next thing you know, I got a highway. It's my highway, the DC Glen Highway, because I can go. It can take me anywhere I want to go, because I'm not worried about the past. I'm looking toward the future, and everything is brand new.
Yes. You've seeded the opportunities, you've seeded the possibilities, and now it's just a step into the harvest. I want to refer to this book, Who Moved My Cheese by Spencer Johnson.
Uh huh.
I don't know if you've read it. The,
I read it 20 years
Yeah,
ago.
exactly. But there's two mice and two men around abundance of
Uh,
cheese. One day the cheese is gone. Sniffy and Scurry go and sniff it out and scurry it out, and Hem and Ha are still, in flux. Hem is just going to sue someone. Give me back my cheese or else. And Ha realizes they're hungry and moves on. You are a Sniffy and a Scurry. Okay, the cheese is gone. There's no point of sitting here waiting for it to come back. What else can I sniff out?
yep.
That is the next block of cheese. And
I just found a cheese company.
yeah, there is always an opportunity if you're
There's
willing to sniff
always an
around, right? Always.
opportunity. Oh my God. And see, it's funny because people, all the people I train with, right? I train with a lot of people, and they deal with things from a traditional perspective. And
Yeah.
I understand that, and I appreciate that. And I let them talk, right? And then I say, okay, I hear you, but just indulge me for a second. This is kind of what I'm trying to do. When I tell them, I see their eyes light up, and then they help me even more,
Yeah.
because they see I'm not playing. And that's what I try to teach that's what I'm trying to teach people that I care about, right? And just everybody in general. You gotta, me and my brother had a situation. It's like, um, my mother has Alzheimer's, and she's in a great facility, right? But it's still not good enough, not
Hmm.
for us, right? But I see what the problems are, but instead of dealing with the problems, what is the solution, right?
Hello.
I don't even think I don't even think about the problem. So my thing is, think about the most fantastical, far-fetched, pie in the sky solution,
Hmm.
which would be, okay, we start a company and we have 10 employees, and all those 10 employees get paid just to take care of our mother and be on deck, so we can have 24-hour care for her. And always, and nobody, if somebody gets sick, or if 5 people get sick, there's always somebody to fill in, and she's never by herself. That's the pie in the sky ultimate, right?
Yeah.
But that's going to cost a lot of money, and that's going to require us to start a business. So let's work our way back to practicality. Maybe we can have 3 people, and they could just go pick up mom and bring her to the house, and maybe spend a night every now and then take her back to the facility. She'll have, if you want to have, you don't have to take her to doctor's appointments. You bring everybody to the house, manicure, pedicure, all the things that
Hmm.
make her feel good, to give her a better quality of life. She can still get at home, but still be in the facility. So you're doing both. That's practical,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
And there's not to say that we can't get to the pie in the sky, because that is doable, but it's going to require a lot of money, right? So I try to. That's what I do in everything I do. I
Mm-hmm.
said, okay, what is my like? This is it's crazy because I had a meeting with my agents. They were like, DC, what do you want to do? I'm like, I'm happy. I appreciate you guys. They're like, DC, what kind of movie roles do you want now? What do you want? I was like, hey man, whatever y'all send me, I'm happy, because I'm just glad to be a working actor. I've only been acting
Yes.
for years.
Yes.
I appreciate you, because I never ask my agents, how come I'm not this? How come I'm not that? Because it's not about that. I'll
Mhm.
get there when I get there, right? It isn't up to my
If you're
agent.
meant to
It's up
get
to me.
there.
Yeah, it's
Yes.
up to me. So they're like, no, DC, what we're trying to say is, what is your bucket list? And I'm like, oh, and this is back in January. And I'm like, you know what? I want to be in The Mandalorian. I want to be in
Oh,
anything Star Wars, in the
yes.
Star Wars universe,
Yes.
live
Oh,
action
yeah.
or voiceover, right? And now that's one of the things that my new voiceover agent is working on for me, is getting me in the Star Wars universe.
Wonderful.
Just because I was throwing it out there and threw it in the universe, and it still might not
If you
happen.
don't tell the
And I'm
universe
not
what you want,
expecting
how
it.
does it know what to
Yes,
deliver?
exactly. And that's what I do. I throw things out in the universe, but then I say, how can I get to it?
Yes.
What's the most fantastical thing that can happen, and work your way back to practicality, and you're halfway there. And all you
Hmm.
got to do is come up with innovative ways and ideas, not what everybody else is telling you, and you can get there.
It's
And
it's um it's rather like an author that they say, know your ending and work backwards.
yep,
Right?
no
Now you know
ending,
what you
work
want
back.
to achieve. You know, I
Yep,
would like that. And
yep.
now go back onto the chapters.
Mhm.
Okay. In order to make that happen, what has to happen? What steps can be taken?
But
Will the
most
change
people
by
drown
doing
in the
so?
problems and
Oh,
the
they do.
inconsistencies.
You know, it's the soap operas, the melodrama,
Yep.
and a lot of people like that victimization.
I love it.
Oh, God, it's soak it all up, you know, and it's like, I'm sorry, I want joy in my life. You know,
Yep,
yes, there isn't anybody that goes through life without a series of problems. But
yes,
those problems are that invitation, that challenge to go, okay, here is the problem. What are you going to do to find the solution? It's the very reason I do these shows. We present a problem, and by
exactly.
the end of the show, we have found out how that person got through that problem, through the process to find the solution and who and what they are doing today. And they always say they would never change a thing
Yep.
because
I
they were
wouldn't change
willing to
a
go through the
thing.
process. Exactly.
Everybody's like, would you change it? Like, no. Everybody asks, well, how do you feel about being a one hit wonder? I said, come on, man. If one hit wonder is a negative connotation, if you
Yes,
had to be a one hit wonder, what better record to have than
exactly.
There It Is?
Exactly.
So call me a one hit. I don't even. I've never really gotten mad at people calling us a one hit wonder, right? Because they don't know what we've been through, and you know that's fuel for me. You can say
Yes,
anything you want to me, because I'm going to put it in my pocket and I'm going to use it as fuel, and I'm going to show you why you think that you're being funny, but actually, I've done more with one song than most artists have done with 10 albums,
yeah. I
right?
mean, the thing is, it's been a huge door opener, but you were willing to walk through it.
Exactly. It's gotten me in the board rooms.
Yes.
And I don't tell anybody that I do it. I only use it when I need it,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because that's what it's for. It's not for, stardom
Mm.
or, limelight. It's for none of that. But when I want to be a star, I know how to slide it in front of I know how to get in front of people and make myself look nice, right?
Yeah.
And that's the key, and that's like when I go on set and I book a job for acting, nobody on that set knows who I am
Mm-hmm.
because of how I carry myself, unless they
Exactly.
know me. But
Yeah.
I carry myself as a professional actor who come to put the work in and get his money and leave. And
Mm-hmm.
then toward the end, or maybe halfway, somebody will say something. Well, what else do you do? And I was like, well, so let me throw it in here. Well, I kind of made a song back in the day called Whoomp, There It Is. And now I just, I'm trying to be an actor and I still do shows and stuff. Wait. You did what? I said, yeah, Whoomp, There It Is. And they're like, DC, come on now. That's not good starting a relationship like that lying. And I'm like, look, man, I already know, this happened on my first commercial, man, for a barbecue commercial. I was like, I know you're going to go look and you're going to see this face without the white beard and long, black, pretty hair, right? And they went in there in the trailer and looked at that video and came back, and for the rest of the day they treated me like a princess.
Hmm. Yeah.
The whole set had changed. People are photobombing me, getting in the back of me, sending their friends, calling their friends. I'm like, what you got? It's not that serious. But you see the difference
Yes.
in perception, right?
Hmm.
If I had came on set talking about, yeah, I'm this, I'm that, you guys owe me this, and I'm a star, so where's my thing and where's that? I would have got vinegar all day.
Yes, you would have. Yeah.
But I proved myself first, and then threw some sprinkles on top.
The thing is, on any set, my daughter works on sets as well. And,
Mhm.
it's long, tedious hours, and there's a
Oh
lot
yeah.
of hurry up and wait, right? And
Mhm.
and in between that time, you want to kind of be personable, you want to meet people, you want to show your humanity, right?
Yes.
Who you really are. One of the things I love what the pandemic has done is that instead of the talk shows where somebody's hair and makeup gone and done 2 or 3 minutes fit and off they go, we've been zooming in their own home, their own hair and makeup, more casual clothing, more content, deeper
Real.
conversations.
Yes.
And it's like, yes, this is what we want. Don't just give us the headline all the time. Give us some content and some
Yeah.
substance. And I think
I
it's going to be hard to go back just to the headline type
I'm
interviewing.
not going back. I mean, but
Mm.
you adapt. You know what I mean? Like,
Yes.
yeah, I mean, whatever world we living in, I'm gonna adapt. I'm gonna make the best of it, and I'm gonna think differently, and I'm gonna get mine seriously. And I do 5 or 6 of these a day,
Hmm.
and I love doing it because not only, that's one thing. I just want to thank you for having me on today
Oh, my pleasure. Thank you.
because I learn more from talking to people. We're
Yes.
having a conversation, and we think you're probably one of the first people out of probably 500 that I've done interviews in the last year that you and I think alike. We have some of the same wavelengths. Like
Hmm.
you said things where I have to come back and have a story about it, and it says the same thing because the synergy is unreal. And I appreciate that so much because I get to hear my thoughts and it validates my thoughts in
Yes.
a different way, right?
Right.
It's not
I,
like,
I,
okay,
I call
you're
that.
right. Most of the time it could be somebody who's like, I'm the entrepreneur podcast and this is this. And once I get to talking, I'm looking at them with their mouth open because I'm saying things they've never heard before, but not you. You're like, I get it.
Oh, 100%. This is
I
this is
get
entirely
it.
my platform.
And it's rare. It's so rare. And it's just such a refreshing thing.
Well,
And
I
I'm
call you
so
the
happy about
knowingness person because that's all the years of coaching and counseling
it.
is about the knowingness. And the knowingness, the gut instinct. I know, I don't know why I know, I just know. I call that the divine soul
Exactly.
contact that
Exactly.
resonates with the heart and truth. It
Mhm.
goes the spirit into action, and the mind will know what it needs to know when it needs to know it.
Exactly.
And when you learn to channel that and open up those channels and truly ask the divine, guide me, show me, let my head step out of it, let my heart, spirit, and soul step into it. My mind will have the clarity of what it needs to know from this database at the right time, in the right moment, for the right thing. So, yes, you're a knowingness, but you live by the knowingness, and so do I.
Ooh, that's so powerful because it's the truth. That's
Yes.
why it's so powerful. Look at how much. Did you ever realize that there were so many? The pandemic exposed everything. Did you
Oh,
ever
yeah.
realize that there were so many ignorant people in the world?
I'm afraid
So
yes.
many, so many. I mean, but I can tell you. Do you live in the States or you live over abroad?
I'm in Canada. I'm in
You're
British
in Canada.
Columbia,
Okay, so
Canada.
in America,
I know. I've been watching.
but I've been in the thick of it, and
Yes.
it has
More
been
than
the
one
most
level.
remarkable thing. But see, I use that. I don't
Yeah.
judge people. I try. That's why. I mean, it all works out. Like I think I did a podcast about relation. I didn't even know what it was. I don't even care what a podcast is because I could talk about anything. And the lady was like, "Well, there's this couple. They got a question. They're like, you know, I upset with my husband. What can I do to spice up our marriage because we've been in this pandemic together and blah 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 and blah 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 blah." And then she was like, "What do you think about that, DC?" I was like, "Man, you ain't gonna be able to do nothing for your husband until you do something for yourself."
100%.
I
Amen.
said, I said,
Yeah.
just all I can tell you is what I did with it every day in the pandemic. I would get up 4 or 5 in the morning. I would go to parking lot. I had my weights in my truck. and I would work out for a couple of hours in the parking lot before the grocery store opened, and I'd be the first one in the grocery store. And I had some semblance of normalcy because I was pretty much the only one in the grocery store that I can go and just do what I wanted to do. And then I was done for the day. And I could stay home and just re-educate myself, reinvent myself, and put in work till I got tired. And then I might go out late night, just driving around just to get some fresh air. That was simple. If you do that every day, your husband's going you're not going to get in your husband's way. But if you guys are sitting up there watching every movie on Netflix together, there's only so much Netflix you can watch, there's only so much
Yes.
sex you can have, there's only so much things you can do during this, because and then you're both working from home, you
Mm.
it's not it has to be you taking care of yourself. And in
Yeah,
the
it's not
moderator was like,
healthy. It's not
not
healthy
healthy.
24/7. You know,
uh
this is, I think, one of the things I think that people forget, and I think this is the same even for actors, musicians, artisans, is they forget to nurture and be themselves. We are
mhm,
always on a journey of our own nurturing, of our own self-discovery. It doesn't matter what age you are. I'm 66. I discover something new every single day about myself, about
exactly.
life, about everything else. And my
Yeah.
inquisitiveness and my wonderment on
Mhm.
what else is out there, who else is out there, what thing can I learn today? We need to be constantly refilling our own cup so it can run us over. And then it's when the two cups come together. It's one's got the cream, one's got the coffee, and there you go. You create a cappuccino, which is wonderful. But don't lose yourself. Don't lose yourself. The same in a relationship, and the same with a relationship with your stardom. If you go up into stardom and you've hit that one hit wonder or that one number, have pride in it. Stand tall in it, but don't let the ego take over, because that's
Oh,
a
yeah. That's
steady
my father
decline.
told me. My father, my father sat me down at the height of Whoomp there. He said, "I'm proud of you, son."
Yeah.
And he said, and he told me, he gave me a little fable. He said, when I was young, all my friends, I used to just admire all my friends because they'd have the Cadillacs, they'd have all the girls. But your grandmother was like, boy, you better stay in school, and you make something of yourself, and watch what happens. And now I've got all the Cadillacs, and they broke. I tell you this story, son, to say this is a good thing that you're doing, but it's going to end. And when it does, don't chase it.
It's
Don't
had
chase
its
that start.
chapter. It's had
Yeah,
its run.
but see, I already knew this, right? Because I've been a DJ in the clubs, and I knew everybody, and I
Mm,
knew all the stars, all the athletes, and I would watch people rise, and I would watch how they treated
mm.
people. They would treat people bad, and then they
Oh
would
yeah.
fall, and then I would watch those same people just revel in glee at
Mm.
their demise, and they could
Yes.
never come back because they burnt those bridges, right?
Yes.
And I vowed to never be like that. And to this day, all those people that were there the first night I played Whoomp, there it is, are still some of my greatest friends to this day
Yeah.
because I
Yeah.
never changed.
Right.
I knew I couldn't, and
Yeah.
that's what kept me. You have to keep the one thing that does keep my ego in check, and I've recently learned this about 10 years ago. Actually, I'm not even gonna lie. Probably the last 4 or 5 years is I love being wrong, right? Because we all know people who I'm sure you know somebody that you get in an argument with them, and then they just love being right on arguments, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they start going down the rabbit hole, making stuff up, and just going down the rabbit hole with different rationalizations and different ways of talking to you. And I just let people like that. I just let them talk, right? And I learned not to argue with them because they're in a rabbit hole that of untruth. And
And
if I
afraid
fall
of
into
it.
that rabbit hole of untruth, then I'm lost,
Mm.
right? And I'm not going to get stuck like that. And when they win the argument, they don't even realize that they're stuck.
Oh, they've
And what
lost.
I've done is I have beat down my ego and my pride, and it is painful. It is
Mm.
painful. But my ego and my pride is not in it anymore. And being wrong is the path to being right. And I'll never be wrong about that again, right?
Mm.
I love being wrong. It's not, I don't even see it as being wrong. I see it as okay, stop, think, think different, right? This
Different
person,
perspective. Turn
this
it
person
around.
might not
Look
know
at it
what they're
from.
talking about,
Yeah.
but what are they saying? What are they saying what are they trying to say,
Mm.
right? And I find it all the time. And sometimes that turns into things that serve me so well that I am that way always and forever. I do have an ego and I do have pride, but I keep it sequestered because it doesn't serve me,
Hmm.
right? It serves no one. And that's one of those those human natures that you can't let get a hold of you.
Yeah.
Because you
You
do,
can
then you
stand
start,
tall in who you are.
oh
The
yes, yes, you
ownership of self,
confident. Yeah,
your
yeah, yeah,
accomplishments, your
yeah.
confidence, that's totally
Yeah,
different. You
yeah,
know, I am me and I accept me in all my flawsomeness,
yes.
right?
I think it's better. I like it when other people tell me.
Yeah,
Then I don't have to tell myself.
right,
That's that is the beauty right there.
right.
That's the thing I'm looking for. To do so well that the people who doubted you, now they have to look you in the eye. And that's okay. Right? It's not about vengeance or getting you
No.
back or I told you so. It's just about you said I couldn't do it. And I'm looking you in your eyes now. Done it. Right.
Well,
And
I know from personal experience that all those people that thought I should do the podcast this way or that way, or I
mhm,
should be this, or I should be more like that person. And I said, look, I'm like Popeye, I am what I am.
yep,
People can take me or leave me. This is Sarah, and this is the way Sarah does these shows.
that's
And I
all.
want the heart and the soul of a person with all
Yeah,
that they do, but it's from the heart and the soul. And, you know, I've said that I'm not offended if you don't listen
yeah,
because you're not ready to hear me. And so the people that were busy putting me down or telling me I'm doing it wrong will never listen. We'll
yeah.
never, because we're on different wavelengths. We're at totally different spectrums.
Points in your life and everything.
And so,
And
you know, it's fine. I'm going to concentrate on the people who want to listen, not the people who don't.
exactly,
Yeah.
and some of those people are the people that care about you the most.
Yes,
But they just don't know, and you got to understand that they might not be hating on you. They just don't know.
they're not ready yet.
They're not ready yet, and if that's then that's okay.
Yes,
But it's
everybody
not
has
my
their
job to
journey at
get
their
them
own
ready.
pace.
It's not my job to get them ready because I'm grown. We all grown,
No,
right?
yeah,
I'm
but the
not a
thing is,
kid.
you could
Uh,
become inspiration, which becomes invitation.
yeah, yeah, but
Right.
a lot of people still stuck in their own stuff,
Oh,
right?
yeah.
And when that happens, there's just no growth. There's just no coming out of your
And,
ways. And
and
those
and you
habits,
can't help them until they're ready to want to be helped. And
yeah,
when you help them, it's with your skills, with your expertise, with
yeah,
your cheerleading, but they've still got to apply.
they still
They
got
still got to
hey,
participate in their life. You know, it's like, okay, I'm ready now, give it to me. No, no, no. You're ready to put one foot in front of the other. And you're going to fall and you're going to have to get up off your ass and you're going to fall on your knees and you're going to have to get up. What we're going to do is give you the skills and the tools and the knowledge of how to get back up every time.
exactly.
But it's your journey. And if you're not willing to go through the process, you're never going to become what you truly are meant to be.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Hey, you got any more questions? Because I got an audition that I got to work on. You've inspired me. Like you've given me a shot in my arm just through this conversation,
Oh,
and I
thank you.
was not expecting it. So now I know how people feel sometimes when I do a podcast with them and they think we're going to talk about tour bus antics. And I hit them with this, and they have no clue, and they get blindsided. Then they realize, man, I got. They all say the same thing. I've never looked at it like that,
Right.
man. I'm about to change my life. I'm just looking like, wow. And see, now I use this at voiceover
Hmm.
because the people that I get interviewed by, I see their reactions. So I know how I'm talking. So now I can envision them while I'm doing a voiceover and be so authentic. I can really be the voice of your product or what you're trying to do. And it just all these things go into one big ball that serve me
You
and it's
don't lose
so
anything, right?
fun.
Everything is in your toolkit, ready to be pulled
Everything.
out, right?
Yes, yes. You gotta
Do
see me
have a question.
everything.
Is there any more music coming from you?
Okay, so here's the thing, right? I am done being an artist,
Hmm. You're
but
a different form of artist now.
here's the thing. Everybody says, "Why don't you guys make?" It's like, why? I've got a forever hit record. There'll never be another. There'll be. I will never ever make another record as big as Whoomp. There it is again. So for me to come back with another record, it just doesn't make sense. Now there's people like, man, don't say that. Don't ever say that because just make songs and be happy. I'm like,
Yeah.
I didn't say I wasn't gonna make songs. You asked me about was I gonna make some more music. I said I am, but here's the thing, right? I'm not gonna come back and say, "Hey, everybody, I got a new record. Like me," because
Right.
that's what would have to happen. and that would be catastrophic. I don't care if I had a hit record, it would still be catastrophic. But I'm an actor, I'm a voice artist. I deal with marketing agencies, the ad world, and movie and entertainment. So if I'm auditioning for a Christmas movie in March of this year, and I know what the movie is about, I can make a song about it,
Right.
then
Yes.
submit it, and then it might go into the movie. If they don't get the Christmas song, you keep it neutral, then somebody else might get it for an advertisement or a theme for a TV show or a
Yes.
theme for a holiday special. And now I don't have to say I did it, but people are, if it's a hit, everybody's gonna say, "Who is that? I love that record. What is?" That's DC from Tag Team. Man, he's still making money. You see the reaction, the difference in the
Yes.
reaction. Because if I just go out and say I got a new record, y'all,
Yeah.
people are like, man, DC, you need to sit your old butt down,
Mhm.
right? And that's just reality, right? That's just because rapping is a young man's game, right? And the fact that I did it that way just takes me even to a higher level because it wasn't about me.
Mm.
It was about the music.
And your artistry has changed. The
Oh
thing
yeah.
is, now you have different artistry for
Mhm.
different scenes, for different compartments, and
Yes.
and uh,
Everything is custom. I want to make Christmas music. I want to do jingles.
yeah,
I want to do things that are specific and strategic that I can use my talent for making music, but still, you know, a one hit Christmas record is a pension plan.
exactly. Well, the other thing is you mentioned about master and master of none, and I can tell you, the people who are what I call generalists,
Mm-hmm.
that understand this department, that department, this department, and they put the heart and soul into it. And
Mm-hmm.
if they need to learn something, they'll go and learn, or they'll ask.
Mm-hmm.
Those are the people that will have the longevity, and the
Yeah.
people that will want to be hired for the fact that you're not just a master of one thing, that you are actually a master of an umbrella of things.
Yes.
And
Yes.
that diversity will always keep you employed and always open the doors for you.
And
Anybody out there,
yeah,
dabble,
and
dabble, gather it in your kit.
I've always been a hustler, so I don't fear work. So if I
Right.
got to go back to work, I'll go back to work. I don't care. I love work.
Hmm.
The harder it is, the harder it is, the more I want to do it because I know everybody's not trying to do it.
Hmm.
There's not that many trying. I don't have that much competition. When the only competition I have is me.
That's all the competition we all have.
Yep.
It's you're busy competing with the Joneses, with the this is, the
Nah,
that.
nah, nah, nah.
And
Only
then you
competition
get
I
there
have.
and then you
Yeah,
realize that, oh my
yeah,
God, this is not for me. I'm
uh,
utterly miserable.
yeah.
If your core says no, listen to your core. If your
Mhm.
spirit says yes, go with it. You don't know what you're doing, you'll learn as you go,
Exactly.
right? But be
Yeah.
willing to try, because you don't know what you can do until you try doing it.
Yeah. My life is full of those. So I'm
Hmm.
happy. I'm happy we got to do this. I'm grateful. Thank you. I got to get out of here
Okay,
and
so tell
get.
people your site, how they can go and
All right,
follow
so
you.
because I do SEO, because I do websites and all that, I left good breadcrumbs all over the world. So all you gotta do is type in anything DC tag team, won't there it is, and you will find me.
And everything about what we need to know about you is there.
Is there everything?
Okay. And I'm
Yeah.
going to close out with the song because we've got to leave everybody with a little bit of whoop in their life and pick everybody up, right? And yeah, sprinkle
Sprinkle.
some wonderful, positive, uplifting dust on people, right? That's
Please,
all we need
please.
right now. Thank you so much for sharing
Yeah.
here, DC. It's been
Take
an
care.
absolute pleasure.
All right. Bye bye.
Until next time, folks, remember, never give up, never give in. There's always a better tomorrow if you're willing to work for it. Bye for now.
Live class for free about copywriting, and I'm giving this copy of
Party people! Yeah! Tag team music in full effect. That's me, DC, the brain supreme. And my man Steve Rowland. We're kicking the flow. We're kicking the flow. And it goes a little something like this. Tag team back again. Check it to record, let's begin. Party on, party people, let me hear some noise. DC's in the house, jump, jump, rejoices. There's a party over here, a party over there. Wave your hands in the air, shake the dairy, yeah. These three words mean you're getting busy. Whoop, there it is, Hitman. Whoop, there it is. 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 Whoop. it's all about. Now it's time for it to get on the mic and make this mother party hot. I'm taking it back to the old school, cause I'm an old fool who's so cool. If you wanna get down, I'ma show you the way. There it is, let me hear you say. Whoop, there it is. Come on, y'all. Whoop, there it is. A little louder. Whoop, there it is. Come on, y'all. Whoop, there it is. Louder. Whoop, there it is. Come on, y'all. Whoop, there it is. A little louder. Whoop, there it is. Come on, y'all. Whoop, there it is. Whoop. Shaka, 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 laka, shaka. Whoop. Shaka, laka, shaka, laka, shaka, laka, shaka. Whoop. Shaka, laka, shaka, laka, shaka, laka, shaka. Whoop. Shaka, laka, shaka, laka, shaka, laka, shaka. Point blank. Gin and juice I drink and bent as I puff on dank. Rock the mic, I crave skin rip. Find a honey dip to dip it in. Slam dunk it, stick it, flip it and ride that B-double-O-T-Y, oh my. That's it, come on, wait, there it is, I'm the underground sound that you have found amazing, outstanding, demanding, commanding you people dancing. That's a breath taker. I produce, aka the Undertaker. You wanna come down to the underground old school? Here's a shovel. Can you dig it, fool? Can you dig it? We can dig it. Can y'all dig it? We can dig it. Can you dig it? We can dig it. Can y'all dig it? We can dig it. Can you dig it? We can dig it. Can y'all dig it? We can dig it. Can you dig it? We can dig it. Can y'all dig it? W-H-O-O-M-P as I flow to the fly from the school of bowl. Hardcore, kick the folklore wreck. 3 to the 2 and 1 mic check. Mass skill, flow ill on the mess of steel. That's the grill of the microphone I just killed. Party people, wish the party tag team is through. Whoop, there it is, I thought you knew. Whoop, there it is. 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 Yeah, tag team music coming straight at ya. That's me, DC, the brain supreme, and my man Steve Rowland. Bring it back, y'all, bring it back, y'all, bring it back. Here we go. Whoop, there it is. 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 Whoop, there it is.
We hope that you enjoyed the show. You will hear many shows here on selfdiscoverymedia.com. We have new shows for you out every week. Just find them on our podcast or What's New. If you feel that you have something to share that makes a difference in the lives of others, or you too feel that you could be a host, please contact me at info@selfdiscoverymedia.com and we will be glad to speak with you. Have a wonderful day.